Assignment number 7, type as texture and image. So this is the second to the last assignment for this class, creating type as texture. Up to this point, we have been using type in a strictly legible fashion, creating text blocks, paragraphs, posters, short stories, and legibility studies. For this last project, we will be using type in a different kind of way. This shows that type can be thought of in other ways than as strictly a thing that you read. It could also be thought of as an art form or a texture. Type as art can come in many forms, as illustration, texture, structure, or as existing fonts. Type can be rendered in the form of an illustration, morphing the letters to fit the page. You can create a composition with calligraphy, or create custom lettering for a poster. As we've seen in the Fillmore posters, the lettering was used to create textures that appeared to swirl around the shape. I have several of these at home in a blacklight room in my house. Type can create art with existing fonts. Use letters to build a picture. You can isolate the type when completed as a layer in Photoshop, and then select the layer and apply colors to it as though it were an illustration. You can overlap the type to create depth and use different weights to create shading. It can also be an expression of texture in packaging, materials, and lines of clothing, wallpaper, wrapping paper, and website backgrounds. Here's an example of type used as a decorative element in types of durable goods on the left and disposable ones on the right. Many times bas-relief textures can be created from old woodblock types. Several years ago, I saw an immense iron cauldron full of old wood type for sale at an industrial, architectural reclamation warehouse in Chicago, where you could purchase them for a couple of dollars, each to use on creating your own composition or just simple wall art. And of course, we all see various kinds of type used in an expression of holiday and personal celebrations, birthdays, graduations, weddings, etc., etc. Here then are some further examples of type used as texture in album art, posters, and other artistic expressions. This last one should be a fun assignment. Create a typographic work of art. Your challenge is to make it an 11 by 17 size poster out of type. So, find a photo of a person, animal, or thing that you would like to turn into a type poster. Look for images on a solid background that have a clear shape and easy to identify shadows. Bring the photo into Illustrator or Photoshop, or if you feel ambitious, make it big enough to work on and do a tracing by hand. And pick a technique that you feel comfortable with and create images out of type.